Hello and welcome to episode 8 of MTG Vintage Flashback. I'm your host Mike, and today we'll be talking about Urza's efforts to rebuild the Tolarian Academy up to his Bloodline Project in the epic journey to destroy Phyrexia. In episode 6 we went over the beginnings of Phyrexia, which would evolve for thousands of years before Urza and Mishra's discoveries in Koilos. Then, in episode 7, we went into Urza uncovering the truth about Phyrexia, making it his mission to avenge his brother's corruption by bringing the plane and its ruler Yawgmoth down for good. After Jhoira was killed by her secret lover Carrick, a Phyrexian sleeper agent, Karn was sent back in time by Urza to prevent the attack. He was successful, but was pulled back to reality as the time machine overloaded and he was not able to kill Carrick. 10 years later, Urza returned to the Tolarian Academy to begin rebuilding. Upon returning with Karn, they found several temporal rifts around the plane due to the temporal incident years prior. These rifts can be thought of as bubbles, with some allowing the occupants to complete research at vastly accelerated rates, while other slow-time rifts were used to derive anti-aging potions. Urza quickly learned to use both of these to the advantage of their research against Phyrexia. However, Carrick also found advantage in the fast time rift he was trapped in during the explosion. While trapped there, he was able to quickly build an entire fortress which he named himself Lord of. Realizing he could not take on Phyrexia alone, Urza began to form alliances with the races of Dominaria such as the Dwarves and Viashino. His last stop was to visit Yavimaya in hopes of getting the support of the strong plant life and their elven protectors. However, Yavimaya was composed partly of Argoth, which took a heavy toll during the Antiquities War and was ultimately destroyed by Urza's Silex blast. This event also resulted in the death of Titania, a marrow sorcerer who was widely regarded as a goddess within Yavimaya. The forest had not forgotten. When Urza went to request their alliance, he was met by Multani, the spiritual mind of Yavimaya. Pretending to be welcoming, he easily lured Urza into the forest. He then had the sentient forest imprison Urza and forced him to live through Titania's pains. Urza was able to escape via summoning by his student Baron during an invasion by Carrick, but part of Multani was fused into Urza's mind in the process. Upon seeing the true magnitude of Phyrexian life forms, Multani and Yavimaya became allied with Tolaria and helped defeat the invasion. The battle for Tolaria was won, but the war with Phyrexia was far from over. It was at this time Urza designed one of his greatest inventions, a large flying battleship that was capable of breaking the sound barrier and even plane shifting. Made up of Thrawn-like metal and fused with the weather seed from Yavimaya, Urza donned it the skyship Weatherlight. Such a massive machine required an astronomical amount of mana to power, and Urza found that it would essentially take an entire plane's worth of energy to charge. With great regret, he decided to drain what was left of Serra's realm, which was going through Phyrexian decay. He tried to save as many inhabitants as he could, but there were certainly casualties as a result of absorbing the realm. Despite these efforts, Urza began to figure that the Weatherlight was not enough and started working towards a biological element of his plan, known as the Bloodline Project. In his research, Urza began forming a weapon known as the Legacy Weapon. It was a collection of powerful artifacts whose power together was far greater than their individual sum. However, not just anybody could wield this weapon, and it needed a worthy heir to wield it. Thus began the somewhat controversial Bloodline Project. In an extreme effort of eugenics, Urza dictated who would marry who and procreate. Some of these pairings were even designated at birth. Through twisted Gregor Mendel-like crossbreeding, he worked to create an individual with strong ties to white mana. The main bloodlines which were manipulated by Urza were of the Capuchin and Cisse families. Beyond that, he even manipulated two of his students, Baron and Rain, into procreating to create Hannah. Eventually, the perfect individual for the mission was created, Gerard Capuchin. Gerard and the Legacy Weapon would be the key to defeating Yawgmoth, but could not possibly stop all of the Phyrexian army. The second part of the Bloodline Project involved genetically engineering an army of super soldiers. This involved splicing DNA with magic to create Phyrexian-like soldiers which were deemed the Metatron. This further pushed the project into controversy, which caused several researchers to resign while refusing to genetically engineer. As more credible researchers were leaving, some of those who remained tended to be a little less stable in their research. That's it for this episode of MTG Vintage Flashback. Great war with Phyrexia is brewing, and both sides have quite a bit of firepower. What do you think of Urza's controversial Bloodline Project? Was it justified? Let us know in the comments. If you liked this video, please hit like down below. If you find yourself hungry for more, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on so you know when our new videos come out. Until next time, thanks for watching.